Hello there, Fraggy. Hello there, CEAZOR. Oh, how's it going? Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a unicorn, CEAZOR. It's so cute. I wonder if I can ride it. Let me ride it. Oh, CEAZOR, that's not such a great idea. Oh, don't be silly. I'm a professional rider. Let me go and try. Whoa! I told you so, CEAZOR. Well, I want to ride it. You have to know how to tame them. They love strawberries. Frozen strawberries. Well, I don't have any strawberries. I have lots of strawberries.
Hello and welcome to CEAZOR Snack Sandwich. Today we're taking a look at Popsicle Finance. Now I've had quite a few of my followers ask me to explain what is this, and some of them showed me how to enter some positions and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a video that I don't normally do. I'm going to talk about what it is and how it works, but I'm also going to show you how to enter positions and how to enter positions in two ways. So I'll start this with saying this is not financial advice. You don't have to enter these positions. Just because I'm entering these positions doesn't mean it's a good idea. You can decide for yourself. Now, I might even immediately after recording this video leave those positions. So this is up to you. You make the decision whether or not you like this idea or not. So it's called Sorbetto Fragola, the new product at Popsicle Finance. You can read through this article. It's pretty good. It's pretty clear. It covers most of the stuff, and I'll put a link to it in the description. But let's swing over to the website and talk a little bit about what's going on over there. So here on Popsicle Finance, you press maybe the dashboard, and you'll find this button here that says Sorbetto. You'll click that. If you're in Popsicle Stand, that's the farms basically, and Sorbetto is the new product. So you come down here, we see Sorbetto Fragola, and these are the pools that you couldn't go into. If you're in the pool, then it will display numbers here that relative to what you have. Like, so for example, today I'm going to enter this position, so I will have some amount of PLPs. These are like Popsicle liquidity pool or liquidity providing tokens, and here's what the tokens that are in there, and this is the value of my PLPs, and this is the amount of fees that I'm earning. Okay, this is where you're going to go and claim the fees, and this is how you would withdraw. Down here is where you're going to join the positions. But before I go in and start joining the positions, let me explain these APYs, or they're called them APRs. So these APRs and how they work and how these numbers are getting, how they're getting this yield, okay? This is not yield farming at all. There's no incentivized tokens getting dumped. There's no like, I have to farm this token and dump it and rebuild. This is not a vault. It's purely a liquidity providing. So they provide liquidity on Uniswap version 3, and they adjust the ranges and stuff. So what does that mean? Let's swing over to Uniswap and show you. So this is a pool, USDC and ETH, and you can see there is all these lines, right? Now these lines basically show where money is sitting. And this red line right in the middle shows you the current price between these two assets. So for this pool. So as the price of the asset, like in this case, USDC is always going to be US dollars, right? And ETH, as the price of ETH changes, this pink line will move up, back and forth along here. So if the pink line goes down here, then the people who are all along here are not gaining any of the trading fees during this time. So there's all of these people here, all of this liquidity sitting here doing nothing, just not being swapped, not gaining trading fees. The only thing that's gaining trading fees is in and around this range as the price moves back and forth between these things. So what Popsicle Finance does for you, or what the Sorbetto Fragola does, is it's going to move your liquidity. So follow this red line around. So as this red line moves, it's going to move everyone's liquidity to that place. So right now it's pretty full in here. But if it were over here, then a lot of liquidity would be outside of the range, but Popsicle Finance's liquidity would be inside the range because they have an automated process to move this liquidity to follow the current price. Now, if you look at this one, this is ETH versus USDC. It's quite a big graph. There's a lot of speculation on the price of ETH and where the price of ETH will go and so forth. But if you look at something like USDC versus USDT, there's only like maybe there's only 4 or 5 bars, so it's mostly like just blink, 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 blink. It's not very hard for this to be maintained by itself. However, if the price does move here, there is quite a bit of liquidity that's outside of the current thing, but I'm not too sure whether or not this liquidity is gaining any trading fees because it's right beside the pink one or not. So this is something you will have to look into Uniswap yourself. But anyways, they will eventually make this pool, I think, on Popsicle Finance, and you could join that. But for now, there's only versus ETH, right? As you can see, there's versus ETH. So one warning is that because there's versus ETH, that there is the possibility of impermanent loss. And in fact, the ETH USDT and the USDC ETH, it's guaranteed to have some impermanent loss. Like unless the price of ETH doesn't move, then you're going to have some impermanent loss. So don't consider this a place to put ETH and be long ETH or short ETH. You can, but you just consider this a place where you can put some US dollar value in the form of ETH and USDT, and you can farm this APY. So this APR here is only the trading fees, the trading volume. So you can come here, click volume and check out the volume, but in 24 hours, there's 132 million in the past 24 hours of trading volume, and that's what this APR is coming from. Now this APR is like historical, right? It's not current, right? Because they don't know the future and they don't know the exact current trading volume, but maybe they do know the current, but they don't know the future, right? So this is based on the past, so you have to keep that in mind, and it's based on the amount of TVL that was in there. I remember last night this was like 400 and something, and now there's 3 million in here, and it's down to around 376 based on, I guess, some harvests that happened during the time I was away. So let's go into one of the pools. Now, like I said, I'm going to do this kind of a silly way. I'm going to do 2 entries to show you the different ways to enter. Now, this is probably not the best way to do it because I'm going to waste some money on gas and so forth. But anyhow, let's go. So you go inside after you've selected a pool. I'm going to use this pool today. And the first buttons we see use WETH. Now, basically, if you don't know what WETH is, it's a wrapped ETH, and sometimes you will have WETH in your wallet, or if you don't have WETH in your wallet, you unclick it and you can see it changes to ETH. So this button here says join proportionally. What that means is the pool is not 50-50. Okay, there's not 50% USDC and 50% ETH in all of these little ticks, right? I don't know how to explain the math to you very simply, but just keep in mind that there's a proportion, there's a ratio in here that is always different from 50-50. It's most likely going to never be 50-50, but it could possibly be 50-50. So I'm going to put this back on because I do have WETH in my wallet. And let's say I click this, you can see, 4,170 USDC to enter, and that's going to require me to put 0.53 ETH. As you can see, like a half an ETH is not worth $4,000, right? So it's not 50-50. And in the other way, if I wanted to put all of my WETH in there, then I would need 10,000 USDC. So let's do this first. So I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to approve and enter this pool. So approve the spending. So this is going to take a bit of time and gas. I will cut some of this stuff out so that you don't need to watch all of these things. Okay, so the approving of the spending, I've approved this website to spend my USDC tokens, and I believe I will now have to approve the spending of WETH. Okay, so there I've improved the spending of WETH as well, and we just have to wait a little bit of time for this website to refresh, and then this button should change for us. Okay, so the button has changed for us. Now it says join Sorbetto, and I can just simply click that, and I will be entering the pool. So I'm going to do this now just to show you what it looks like afterwards. So the gas is a little bit more expensive than the approved, but it's still pretty cheap because gas is nice and cheap right now. I'm doing it at an ideal time. As you can see, it's currently 7 Gwei, right? Which is nice. So I'm going to wait for this once it's done, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like above. Okay, there, the transaction's done, and we have confirmed our transaction. So we should have a position that's worth of roughly about 4,000 plus this amount of ETH. So let's go up to the top and take a look and make sure that's there. Okay, so we scroll up to the top here and we see the position. Yeah, I have about $5,000 worth of USDC in here. I have these PLPs. I've gained 3 cents already, just in the time that it took me to scroll up here. Anyhow, so now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is, let's say you come here and you don't have both of these tokens. We need to be able to get in using one token, right? So let's say you came and you didn't have USDC or you didn't have WETH and you wanted to participate in this pool. You could go to Uniswap and you could try to guess the ratio and join proportionally that way. But that's kind of difficult because it's not 50-50. You can't just go and sell half of your USDC for WETH and join this pool. So this is how you would get in otherwise. Okay, so first we're going to take off join proportionally because I don't have proportional. I have only one of the assets, let's say, and as you can see, I do have almost zero USDC in my wallet, but I still do have some WETH, right? So I don't want to join proportionally, so make sure that's unclicked, and I click WETH, and then over here it's going to talk about, you're going to sell this much of your WETH, because you can see I have 0.8, but it's going to sell 0.6 of it for USDC. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, I'm selling WETH right now for USDC, and you choose your slippage. I'm going to use 1%. Maybe you want to go down lower or go higher. That's up to you. So I'm going to use 1% just to make sure it goes through. And again, if I have ETH in my wallet, then I can unclick that. So let's swap this now. So press swap, and it's swapping with the same pool that it's trying to, you're trying to provide liquidity to. So let's do this swap and then wait for it. Okay, so I got to the transaction here. So now I'm going to swing back over here and I'm going to try to join proportionally because I do have a certain amount of USDC and WETH to do it. So if I click this max here, it says, you're going to use all of your USDC and this much WETH. However, the swaps are not perfect, right? You can't get it always perfect because the prices are constantly changing, right, inside the pool. So as you can see, I'm a little bit off now. Maybe I swapped a little bit too much or not enough, a little bit too much WETH in this swap to get in here. So just play around until you find one that works. As you can see, it's 286. So I'm going to be left with about $100 inside the pool or inside my wallet, which is something you have to take into account. So I'm going to send this and pay for this transaction and then add this to the pool as well. Okay, so the transaction's gone through and I should have added this amount of value to my position above. And I guess I can swing up there and check it out for you and we can see how it looks. So as you can see, I have added this amount of value to the pool here. I think before it was like 5,100 or something. So I've added another 1,000 something, $400 worth of value to the pool. And I've up to $1.31. So it's pretty good. I think this is some pretty good APY and it's not very risky and so forth. So just keep in mind, that I do have a little bit of USDC left in my wallet. Let's double check and see how much I have. So here we can see that I ended up with 94 USDC in my wallet, which is not great. I guess I'll talk to the team and see if there's any way to optimize that and make sure those numbers are a little more accurate and there's less loss there. Now, it's not lost, like it's sitting in my wallet, but I would have rather had that $94 inside the pool here. But as you can see, I was able to enter and get through it and so forth. And I'm sure the team will figure out ways to optimize that this swapping thing here. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers it for now. If there's any questions, you can hit me up in the Telegram or you can join their Discord. Their Discord's really active and good. And that's pretty much it. There is one more thing I want to mention now, is that With Uniswap version 3, they give you these NFTs, and you don't really, the NFTs are supposed to be used to allow you to sell this position and so forth, but there's no NFTs here. You didn't get any NFT. You actually got an ERC20 PLP token. So this ERC PLP tokens, they represented the position in Uniswap version 3, and these PLP tokens will be able to be used with the current ecosystem of DeFi already. Like I could stake these in Cream Finance and borrow against them, or maybe I could put these on Unit and mint some USDP, or maybe even in Abracadabra they might become, a token that you could put into Abracadabra and meme. So I don't know exactly where they're going to go in the future with these PLP tokens, but the PLP token is an ERC20 token, and it can be used for other things. There was a talk a little in the AM about a partnership between Alchemist, the Crucible makers, and Popsicle Finance. So I assume that they're going to allow these PLPs to be put into a Crucible, and then the Crucible itself will then be used to get some farming rewards somewhere. So you will get some farming rewards on top of this if they set it up, so forth. I'm going to do a video soon on Alchemist and explain how those Crucibles work. So you can look forward to that. And thank you so much for watching. This is a bit of a long one, I'm sorry, but that's it. Bye-bye.